Hello everyone, my name is Alex and it's my first video on this channel. I want to share some tips and tricks related to Android and Kotlin development, and today I want to talk about what is concurrent modification exception and how avoid it. You can see I created a main function and I created a list with numbers from 1 to 6. And I print it 2 times. Now it's the same. So let's run again. Yeah, you can see initial list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Result list is the same. So what is concurrent modification exception? Firstly, we need to iterate over the list, for example like this, but it doesn't matter. You can use just a for loop and the result will be the same. And during iteration over the list, we wanna try to delete some elements. For example, we have a logic. If the current element is let's say 3, we want to remove it. So remove this. So we're expecting now in the result list 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 without 3. But let's see what will happen. Yeah, you can see we get concurrent modification exception. Why? Because you can't remove while iterating, at least for now. We will solve it, but a little bit later. I've just opened the source code of a list. You can find it easily on the internet. You can see I open up OpenJDK repository. So how does it work? They have a function inside of implementation of a list, and they check every time when you changing the list. In this case, they see if count and expected count of elements are the same. So actually they use it a lot. Like you can see here, it's 49 times in this file. Just let's see something. They're using it hash code. Again, iterators, and so on. So it just to let you know how it works approximately. So what happens when we're iterating it like I did here? We are finding number 3 here, and when we remove it like this, you can see indexes now not the same. So before it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we are changing it when we remove it. Now it's number 4 was at index number 3. Now it's index number 2. That's why we have this exception, because while we were iterating, the structure of the list was changed and we throw an exception. Not we, but Java SDK, but doesn't matter. So, but what we can do, because we still want to solve our task somehow. The best approach is to use iterator. Iterator, it's an interface. It's basically implemented by each collection, not only linked list, array list, hash set, and so on. And okay, let's write a little bit of code. List iterator, list iterator. Now, how we can iterate over the list? We can check if iterator has next element, and if it has it, we can get it. So current element equals iterator next. And now we can use our logic which we tried to implement before. If current element is sorry, not is, of course, equals 3, we want to remove it. But now we are doing it through iterator. So we are removing the current element, which now is number 3. Let's try whether it works or not now. Yeah, you can see now the result list doesn't have number 3, and we didn't have an exception. That's great. But why does it work? Iterator, which is implemented also somewhere here in array list file, it implements logic which is changing this to, let's find it again, these two variables mod count and expected mod count accordingly. So iterator has this logic under the hood. But when we remove elements from the list, it doesn't have this logic. But there is another way. By the way, it's like the best way to do it this way, but just for education. You still can use just a for loop. For example, let's create it like this. List size -1 down to 0. So we're iterating over list again, but now we are doing it from the end to the beginning. And let's try to remove now. The logic is the same. List current element, if current element equals number 3, we try to remove it. And it should work, I guess. Yeah, now you can see the same result. We didn't have any exception, and we did remove number 3. But why it works and iterating from the beginning to the end doesn't? Because as you can understand, when we are iterating from the end, and we are now here at number 3 element, when we are removing it, the indexes changed, but are not indexes which are going further. Number 2 and number 1 elements, they are still at the same positions. That's why we don't have this problem iterating from the end to the beginning. Actually, there is one more solution, but I'm not vouching for that. I will just briefly introduce it to you, but it has additional, how to say, it has additional costs. For example, we can create one more list, like elements to remove, for example, and let's create another list. Here we can iterate again like we did before. But here we are not removing in this case right away. We just we are using this list which I have just created to add elements which we want to remove later. And let's change condition. So if it's for example like this, we want to add it, and after that list remove all, actually just let's leave it. Okay, now we have this one because I didn't return the value. Let's try again. Yeah, you can see now it works. We didn't have any exception, but we created additional list which takes memory, and generally it's bad. So the previous solutions, especially with iterator, it's the best. So thank you. Maybe it wasn't the best my speech in English, but hopefully you got some information which is useful for you, and I'm really happy for any your feedback in the comments. Thank you very much. Bye bye.